Rain poured heavily outside as thunder echoed across the empty streets of Maple Street, a quiet American neighborhood surrounded by old trees and silent houses. A single mother named Emily Parker stepped out of her car with her 9-year-old daughter, Lily. In front of them stood their new home, an old wooden house with faded white paint, cracked windows, and a rusted mailbox swinging in the wind. It was cheap, too cheap. But after Emily's painful divorce and financial struggles, this was the only place she could afford. Lily stared at the house nervously. "Mom, this house feels weird." Emily forced a smile. "It's just old, sweetheart." As they carried boxes inside, the floor creaked beneath every step. The air smelled dusty, like the house had been locked for years. The living room lights flickered once, then again. Emily sighed. Probably bad wiring, but Lily kept staring at the dark hallway like someone was standing there. That night, rain hit the windows while Lily sat near the fireplace drawing pictures. Emily unpacked dishes in the kitchen. Suddenly, Lily whispered, "Mom." Emily looked up. What happened?" Lily slowly pointed toward the hallway. "There's a tall lady standing there." Emily immediately turned. Nothing, only darkness. Emily laughed nervously. "Sweetheart, nobody's there." But Lily's face turned pale. She doesn't have eyes. At that exact moment, thud! A loud sound came from upstairs. Emily froze. The house had an attic, and nobody should have been up there. Later that night, Emily couldn't sleep. The storm outside became worse. Then suddenly, tap, tap, tap. Footsteps. Slow footsteps walking above her ceiling. Emily checked the clock. 2:13 a.m. The footsteps continued. Tap, tap, tap. Trying not to panic, she grabbed a flashlight and stepped into the hallway. The attic door at the end of the corridor was slightly open. Cold air drifted down from inside. Emily slowly climbed the attic stairs. Each wooden step creaked loudly beneath her feet. The attic was dark, dusty, and freezing cold. Old furniture covered in white sheets stood silently in the corners. Then she noticed something moving, a rocking chair, slowly rocking by itself, back and forth, back and forth. Emily's flashlight flickered violently, then suddenly, a soft voice whispered behind her. "Mom." Emily turned quickly. "Lily?" Nobody was there. Her breathing became heavier. Then at the far corner of the attic, she saw it, a tall black shadow standing against the wall. Too tall to be human, no face, no eyes, just darkness. Emily blinked. The shadow disappeared instantly. The next morning, Lily seemed strangely happy. She sat at the dining table, smiling at the empty chair beside her. Emily frowned. "Who are you talking to?" Lily giggled softly. "My new friend." Emily's stomach tightened. "What friend?" Lily pointed beside her. "The lady in black." Silence filled the room. Emily looked carefully. Nothing was there. Then Lily quietly added, "She comes every night." Emily felt cold all over. "What does she want?" Lily's smile slowly faded. "She says she used to live here." Over the next few days, the strange events became worse. Doors opened by themselves. Lights turned on during the night. Whispers echoed through empty rooms, and every mirror in the house showed dark shapes moving behind them. One evening, Emily was washing dishes downstairs when she heard Lily laughing upstairs. Then suddenly, a terrifying scream. "Mom!" Emily dropped the plate and ran upstairs. "Lily!" She burst into the bedroom. Lily stood frozen near the closet, crying silently. Emily hugged her tightly. "What happened?" Lily pointed toward the corner of the room. "The shadow was standing there." Emily looked carefully. At first, nothing. Then she noticed something horrifying. Inside the bedroom mirror, a dark figure stood behind Lily, but there was nobody actually in the room. The shadow existed only in the reflection. Slowly, the figure raised one long arm toward Lily. The lights instantly went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Emily grabbed Lily and ran downstairs. The next morning, Emily visited an old neighbor named Mrs. Carter. The old woman looked terrified the moment Emily mentioned the house. "You moved into that house?" Emily nodded nervously. Mrs. Carter whispered, 20 years ago, a woman and her daughter lived there." Emily listened carefully. The mother claimed a shadow woman lived in the attic. Emily swallowed hard. What happened to them? Mrs. Carter's hands trembled. One night, both disappeared. Emily felt chills run through her body. No bodies were ever found. Before Emily left, Mrs. Carter grabbed her wrist tightly. If the shadow calls your daughter, she leaned closer. Never let her answer. That night, Emily locked every door and window in the house. She kept Lily beside her in bed. Hours passed quietly. Then, the clock turned to 2:13 a.m. Creak. The bedroom door slowly opened by itself. Emily's heart nearly stopped. At the end of the hallway stood a dark figure. Tall, thin, completely still, no face, only blackness. Lily suddenly sat upright in bed like she was hypnotized. "She's here," Lily whispered. The shadow slowly lifted its arm, calling her closer. Lily started walking toward the hallway. Emily grabbed her tightly. "No!" Suddenly, the entire house shook violently. Picture frames crashed onto the floor. Lights exploded overhead. Then from upstairs, a woman's voice echoed softly through the house. "Give her back." The shadow began moving across the walls, not walking, sliding like living darkness. Emily carried Lily and ran toward the front door, but the door wouldn't open. Something was holding it shut. Then Emily noticed something strange beneath the staircase. A small basement door. It had never been opened before. Now it stood wide open. Darkness waited inside, and from deep below, she heard breathing, slow, heavy. Emily shakily pointed the flashlight downstairs. The basement walls were covered in children's drawings. Every drawing showed the same thing, a tall black shadow standing beside a little girl. Emily's hands trembled. Then she noticed the final drawing. It looked fresh, like it had just been drawn. The picture showed Emily, Lily, and the shadow standing between them. Suddenly the flashlight died. Complete darkness filled the basement. Then directly beside Emily's ear, a whisper. "She's mine now," Emily screamed. The next morning, neighbors reported hearing terrifying cries coming from the house during the night. When police arrived, the front door was wide open, but the house was empty. Emily and Lily were gone. No blood, no footprints, nothing. Only one thing remained. A new drawing on the basement wall, a mother, a daughter, and a smiling black shadow standing behind them. If you enjoyed this terrifying story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dark horror tales every week. And remember, tonight, if you hear footsteps upstairs at exactly 2:13 a.m., don't look into the shadows.